to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razaban for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. With me on Zoom today, the knowledge, Spencer. Fearon. Spence, how are we doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Alhamdulillah. I'm good, bro. You know what I mean? I'm good.
I know we didn't manage to catch up yesterday, but obviously just want to get your reaction to Fury versus Chisora. I know you know both men very, very well, and kind of everyone anticipated Fury to win. Just your overall assessment, because I know you've been working with Derek in the background.
You know what? Firstly, let me just say this shit, yeah. If anybody is going through anything, right, emotionally, psychologically, financially, if you're going through something, just go and seek help. You know what I mean? Because right now, a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? When my mom chipped out, when my mom passed away, it's like coming up 6 months now. When my mom passed away, it's kind of where people who helped me. There's a lot of people that did help. Baba Tunde Ajayi, my brother, loads of people did help. But Derek and Don Charles just reached out to me and was saying, like, you know what? You know what I mean? Condolences. I know you could be in a dark place, but like, yeah, when you're back up, we just want you to come into the gym with us. You know what I mean? They got a big fight, and Don said, Spence, I want you to come into the camp with us. I've known Don since I've been 13 years old, so it's not a new friend. I've known Don since I've been a little kid. So Don says, come into the camp. You know what I mean? So I was very blessed and very fortunate to be around Derek at this stage of his career, simply because a lot of people from the boxing community showed me a lot of love anyway. But what I am saying, if anybody is seeking or feeling so down and so go and seek help, go and speak to people. So it was like, I know I was a little bit therapeutic for Derek, but Derek and Don were amazingly therapeutic to me. 2 days before my mum chips out, John Fury, who was following me regularly, was on the phone to my mum. And you know what I mean? So all these kind of things, like when I sit down and think about certain things, I'm not totally over certain things, to be real. So stick to what you know. I really do know boxing. Without not trying to boast, I really do. I really study. I like the incremental bits of boxing. So I was grateful that somebody at such a massive fight of his life, that his camp could call and say, like, we want you to be in camp. So it was like I was in camp with these guys for like 5 weeks, 3 days a week. You know what I mean? It was really nice. And I've got a lot of time for Derek. I mean, Derek's actually a really nice guy. A very, very nice man, beautiful man. And I'm saying, Derek, I remember you when you were 15, 16, you used to come to the Cronk Gymnasium, would be gassed to see me. And I said, look what you've accomplished, bro. You know what I mean? You've won. People get confused. You know what I mean? Having belts and everything else and going into major fights and winning, that's great. But the major thing is about championing life. And when I look at Derek Chisora, from where he has come from, being a native from Zimbabwe, coming to England, him and his mum, how he's just turned around things for his life. And you got to remember, like, when people say, oh, I came from nothing, that's a lie, because you can't put a price on life. So you've actually come from a lot, because you've come from human life. You know what I mean? So you're born rich, because life, you can't replicate somebody else's life, because nobody's life is better than yours. Life is what you make it. And Derek Chisora is testimony to that. He's made good life. So yeah, man, props to Derek Chisora. Also props to Tyson Fury, man. Tyson Fury, like I said, in 1938, the late great Joe Louis gave a man, John Henry Lewis, an opportunity to fight for his world title in 1939. He bangs him out in 1 round. This is when Joe Louis was doing a Bum of the Month tour, right? This man, John Henry Lewis, had 110 fights, only losing 10 of them. He was a good fighter, but he was slightly past peak. So when I see these kind of things kind of being replicated now, you're saying right. And people who were slagging off the fight saying, Frank Warren ain't gonna sell up, bro. I was there, bro. I was ringside, man. There was 60,000 people there. So something was going on. So we got to big up everything, the whole promotions, how gentlemanly the men were after the fight was beautiful. I mean, it was just, I mean, that to me was both men, credit to boxing, man. Salute both men, Tyson Fury and his camp, and Derek Chisora and his camp as well.
Spencer, there's a lot of talk on Twitter that the corner should have pulled Derek out a lot earlier in a few rounds before. I know the referee was very close the round before, but I know Derek's a fighter and he wouldn't want to, just give up himself. But should the towel have come in a lot earlier?
It's very, very difficult to turn around and say they should have thrown in the towel. Don Charles, like I said, I've known since I've been 13 years old. Nobody in professional boxing knows their fighter in Derek Chisora like Don Charles does. Nobody, right? And we could sit down and say, yeah, he should have thrown in the towel, should have thrown in the towel, should have thrown in the towel. This is not, well, I think it was October of 75, Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier, the Thriller Manila, when Eddie Futch compassionately said, no, Joe, you know what I mean? Derek was losing his behind on points and he was getting hurt as well on certain times in there. But when you've been with a man and you've seen when like he could pull it out like he done with Carlos Takam, you're not actually being brave with their life, you're actually being brave with your own. So Don's saying, listen, I know my fighter. And at the time when he did get pulled out, it's because Victor Loughlin heard Don say to him, listen, show me something this round or I'm going to pull you, right? He tried, but you have to remember who he's going in with. Tyson Fury is no joke, right? So I get it when people say, they should have pulled him out, they should have pulled him out. Could you imagine if Don Charles had pulled him out of the fight? They would have hammered Don. This fight was farcical. This fight was blah, 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 blah. So, on these kind of ones, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to fight down Don Charles and say, you should stop the fight. Because a fight of that magnitude, and it was a massive, massive opportunity. You know what I mean? You're fighting for the WBC and the lineal heavyweight championship of the world. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about the lineal, you're fighting for the title that historically was owned by John L. Sullivan. That's crazy, right? So it's going to be very difficult to be brave at that time when you're thinking, show me something. Just show me something. I know anytime now you're going to show me something. But unfortunately, with Tyson Fury, he's a very difficult man to fight. And also, Tyson Fury's inside game is very clever. He's very clever. He knows how to put weight of his hands on your shoulders so you can't use your arms. He knows how to turn your body by pressing down on your left shoulder so you can think you're going to throw the right hand, but he'll have it covered with his left hand. These things is years and years and years of practice, years and years and years of study. So it's easy for anybody to jump and say, Don Charles should have done this, Don Charles should have done that. But they've never been in Don Charles' position. You know what I mean? And I'll say to everyone, I said this yesterday on a show on The Fight Is Right with me and Tundi. You know what I mean? It's better to create something that others criticize than to create nothing and criticize others.
Spence, what do you want Chisora to do next? A lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are referring back to Pulev and saying that he put a great performance in against Pulev, but we also have to be honest here that Pulev is not the Pulev that he once was. And his performance, he took a lot of clean shots on Fury, but what do you want to see him do? Because Derek doesn't want to fight the average Joe. He wants to fight big fights. But has he got it in him anymore?
You know what? What I'm going to say is this. Everyone calling for Derek Chisora to retire. You know what I mean? Bottom line is I wouldn't want to see Derek Chisora get hurt, right? But I'm around Derek. I speak to Derek a lot. He's got all of his faculties. I don't know what kind of tough skull he's got, or he's got all of his faculties. What I'm saying is this: Derek Chisora has already won. Here is a man who's got a beautiful family. Beautiful family. Do you know what I mean? He's got a beautiful lifestyle, and it'd be easy for people to turn around and say, oh, well, you should retire, you should retire. Maybe, just maybe, he could have a fight against Dave Allen. You know what I mean? He will sell out the O2 and it would be his farewell party. I don't know. But what I'm not going to do is scream for what a man should do and all the rest of it. Me personally, I thought Derek should have retired 3 years ago, right? But he's kept on going. So he's obviously going out to try and live his dreams and aspirations. Bottom line is this: everything is safety is paramount, health is paramount, because that's one thing that we can't do. We can't. Once your health's gone, it's gone. I wouldn't want to see Derek Chisora get hurt, but I love that guy. He's a very, very good guy, and because of that, maybe he could have a farewell fight and say, like, yeah, because one thing that is for certain, and Tyson Fury, to reiterate what Tyson Fury says, is that Derek Chisora is logged in British boxing history.
Moving on to Tyson Fury, we saw at the end Alexander Usyk, Joe Joyce jumping up on the ring. What do you want to see next? We know both fighters are great in Usyk and Joyce, and both will give a different test to Fury. But who do you want to see in next with Tyson?
I want to see a unification bout. I want to see that fight. I want to see, so we can have a undisputed champion. That's what I want to see. Then go fight Joe Joyce. Even if you just became undisputed and then all the titles got fragmented afterwards, I wouldn't care. Just to see an undisputed champion, I'd love to see it. And whereas you've got a man who's got a greater proportion of the world title belts than what you have, but you've got the WBC and the lineal heavyweight championship, right? I would like to see that. I would like to see those two get it on. That's what I'd like to see.
Spence, as good and great as Usyk is, being the undisputed cruiserweight champion, the unified heavyweight champion, and all the skill sets he possesses, will Tyson Fury just be too big for him?
No, it's not a case of Tyson Fury being too big. It's a fact of Tyson Fury being too good. The guy knows boxing, man. But in saying that, Usyk knows boxing as well. But what I think is, like, a lot of the mind tricks that Usyk plays, I don't think they'll fall onto Tyson Fury. I don't think those tricks would work on Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is superb. I'm just going to be real. I saw things that Tyson Fury was doing that you ain't meant to do if you're 6'9". You know what I mean? You're not meant to be doing it. Like, he breaks all the rules. But in saying that, Usyk is damn clever. Damn clever. So I don't even think it's a sense of the size. I think on skill level, the only man that can compete with Usyk on skill level is Tyson Fury, right? But I think when it comes to skill levels and applying metrics of boxing, I slightly edge to Usyk with that, slightly. But when you're doing what Tyson Fury is doing, he breaks the bar because his body isn't meant to be doing the things that he is doing, and he does it so effortlessly, so cleanly. Tyson Fury takes care of Usyk, then he fights Joe Joyce, and he takes care of Joe Joyce, then he's the best of his era. He doesn't need the AJ fight to cement that he's the best of the era. That's those two. And they would say, yeah, well, you know what? Well, who did you fight? Well, you fought Deontay Wilder 3 times. I get it. Deontay Wilder's a bad man. If Deontay Wilder touches you, you're going to sleep. I don't care who you are. Right? So that's how I see it. If he can do that, then he's the best of his era. But I think if Tyson Fury retired tomorrow, I would still say that he's the best of his era, because right now he's got to be the ranked #1 heavyweight in the world, even though Usyk has more belts than he.
Okay, Spence, thank you for giving me a little bit of time. I know you're out and about doing your bits on Monday morning.
Yep. I'm doing my bits, mate, and I'm heading into the gym now as well. So I got a couple little young kids to go and work with.
And yeah, well, I'm sure we'll catch up with you over the next week or so.
Yeah, man. Take care. God bless, bro.
Spencer Fearon, IFL TV. Thank you very much.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.